Hello friends, welcome to KT Research Guidance Bureau. Myself, Dr. Kumudini R. Thakur, would like to say few words for the Bureau. This Bureau is educational bureau and the main objective of the Bureau is to provide good guidance for various subjects. Those who are interested to learn new topics and wants to get the idea in detail, this bureau will satisfy them. And those who are interested to do their research work, this bureau helps them in several ways. For them, first step is to learn research methodology. Afterwards, they have to select a subject and design the proper proposal for that. And lastly, they have to submit their research work. This bureau helps them in each and every stages. Not only this, those who are interested to clear NET, SLAT or any other competitive exams, this bureau provides enough guideline to them also. So my humble request to you, please subscribe the bureau, give your comments and favor for the bureau. Today, I will give you the idea about classical school of management. In previous session, I gave you the detailed idea about basic introduction of schools of management, reasons and problems due to various schools of management, criteria for adopting an approach, and afterwards I explain you empirical school of management in detail. Today we are going to discuss the another school of management, that is classical school of management. Classical management theory consists of a group of similar ideas on the management of organizations that emerged during the late 18th and early 19th century due to industrial revolution. What is industrial revolution? That we know. So we are not going to learn the history of that thing, but I will give you the superficial idea about that one. And this classical school of management is the oldest and most widely accepted traditional formal school of management thought. So sometimes it is also called as traditional school of management. This theory is based on the belief that employees have only economical and physical needs, and that social needs and the need for job satisfaction either don't exist or are unimportant. Or in another way, we can say that this school assumes that people choose the course of action that maximizes their economic reward. Means people are motivated by economic incentives and that they make choice that yield the greatest monetary benefit. But many times this basic assumption may be wrong, and that time this theory may not be fruitful. But this is the basic assumption. If we learn the hierarchy of needs, that time our first need is bread and butter. But as with the passage of time and your financial health, other needs arises. So it depends on the situation. But this is the basic assumption of classical school of management. Now I'd like to give you the brief introduction and the basic points of classical school of management. Among them, it organized during England's Industrial Revolution. So we know the consequences of this industrial revolution. Previously, majority or we can say 99.9% industries were based on manual driven project. But afterwards, this industrial revolution came in the market and machine took the place of human beings. So what happened? Manufacturers, they began mass production, and we know the characteristics of mass production. And so far as this industrial revolution is concerned, textile industry was among the first one. And if you want to produce in mass in your factory, that time obviously you have to design a standard pattern for your goods. So industrial revolution allowed production of standardization of goods. And if there is a standardization of goods, then obviously many things are different than the manual driven product. And this school and this industrial revolution depends on a constant flow of labor and materials. If there is a breakdown or break in labor and material, then obviously they have to cease the production and they have to stop their machines, and afterwards they have to start it again, and for that the cost may be very high. So it depends on a constant flow of labor and material. Another main point is you adopted mechanism. So owners, they needed to plan, organize, lead, and control organization as well as the situation. What it indicates that now planning is one of the most important thing, and the person has to lead and to control the situation. So the importance of manager emerge in the market. So it believes that management or the manager is whole and soul. So they emphasize on management. Next one is they focus on which to find out one of the best way for work. There are several alternatives, and among them they have to find out one of the best way, means best in the sense of cost cutting as well as savings of time. So Taylor gave us another brief idea about it that also we are going to learn in detail. So this is the basic thing for classical school of management. So far as these schools are concerned, they are based on three streams. Which one? First one is scientific management school. Taylor is the pioneer of that one. So he is considered as a father of scientific management school. Second one is bureaucratic management school. Weber gave the idea about bureaucratic management school. And the third one is administrative management school. Failer Fayol gave us the idea about administrative management school, and he gave us the principles of management. So the predominant and common characteristic of all these three branches is the emphasis on the economic rationality of management and organization. And collectively, these three are known as classical school of management. So when we use the word classical school of management, that time it is a combination or it is the collection of these three schools. Which one? Scientific management school, bureaucratic management school, and administrative management school. Today, I will give you the idea about scientific management school, and afterwards I will explain you bureaucratic management school and administrative management school. So before entering into scientific management school, I would like to give you the chief features of these schools. Among them, first one is the primary focus is on the manager. Why? As I explained you that on that one they have to plan, organize, lead and control the unit. Who is the main person for that? Manager is the main person. So they focus on manager. Next one is based on the management belief that people make logical and rational decisions. It is one of the belief that people they think logically, and if they have to take any decision for any situation, that time they take rational decisions, but all the time it is not that. Let's take the example of our Hindi cinema. In our Hindi cinema, the hero all the time he takes the decision emotionally, and our film industry wanted to show us that emotional decisions gives you more satisfaction, but in reality it is not like that. So always develop a habit of logical thinking, and even routine or small decisions when you have to take, then take rational decision, means acceptable by majority of the people. Third feature is mechanical relationship for the ideal management of jobs and organization, means there is a mechanical relationship. Another one is possess one of the best way to manage complex situation, that I explained you in detail, so no need to explain it again. And last one is adopt perspective approach. These are the basic features of this school. Now let's try to understand scientific management school. As I told you that Taylor is the father of scientific management school, and he believed that organizations should study task and develop precise procedure. Afterwards, Henry, often he is called as associate of tailors. He gave us another idea about the chart system, a bar graph that measures planned and complex work along each stage of production. Means if you want to do any of the thing, that time before entering into the real activity, draw your plan, draw your graphical presentation so that each and everyone can understand their work and the importance of his work very nicely. And I am happy to say you that today also we use this system. And Frank and his wife, they studied job motions. And Carries as an appreciate bricklayer, he was interested in standardization and method of the work. This also we are going to learn in detail. So keep in mind these three main authors, or we can say pioneer: Taylor, Henry, and Frank. So what happened? Thanks to these three contributors and others also, but these three are the main persons. The basic ideas regarding scientific management develop. So what it covers? It covers new standard method for doing each job. If you want to do any job or any work, that time you have to find out standard method so that you can save your time and energy. Without standard method, you can do the work, but it consumes more time and more cost. So, new standard method for doing each job. Then, emphasize on selecting, training, and developing workers instead of allowing them to choose their own task and train themselves. So when you select a person, that time select a proper person for proper job. Afterwards, train them how to do the work and then develop your workers. This is the another thing. Developing a spirit of coordination between workers and management to ensure that work is carried out in order in accordance with devised procedures, and dividing work between workers and management in almost equal shares, with each group taking over the work for which it is best fitted. Means now management and work, they separated, and afterwards management have to plan the work and workers, they have to follow the guideline and they have to do the work as per management planning. Now, as I told you that Taylor is the father of this school, so I would like to give you the brief idea about the basic element of scientific management school proposed by Taylor. As I explained you that many contributors gave the idea about job design, job analysis, scientific method for the work. So these things mainly proposed by Taylor. Among them, the first one is job analysis. Job analysis, why it is needed, and first and foremost because every person's job should be broken down into elements and a scientific way to perform each element should be determined so that a person can understand the work. Not only this, he can find out the best way to do that work. These things covered in job analysis. And then standardization. And mainly job analysis also cover time study. If you study the time period and you analyze them, then only you can find out the method how you can complete your task with minimum time. And motion studies. In motion studies, they emphasize on the motion of the person who is doing the work and they try to eliminate unnecessary motion so that with less effort they can complete the task. Second one is standardization. Standardization of what? Standardization of tools, equipments, material, work process and work conditions must be standard. Then only the person can complete the task with minimum efforts. So standardization must be there. And then scientific selection. Scientific selection, it is based on education, experience, aptitude, and physical strength. So when you select any of the person, that time your selection must be based on this basic criteria. Which one? Education, experience, aptitude, and physical strength. So Taylor gave us these main three things and other things which are most important. Let's try to understand that also. Fourth one is functional formancy. This chart gives you the idea about functional formancy. First, workshop manager. What is the duty of that one? Planning in charge and production in charge. These are maybe the two subordinates. If the organization is small, then it may be one. And if it is big, then vice versa. So far as planning in charge is concerned, in that one, routine clerk, instruction clerk, time and cost, and discipline. And so far as production is concerned, speed boss, inspector, maintenance foreman, and gas boss. So this is one of the simple idea. When we will try to understand organization, that time I will give you detailed idea about it. This is the fourth one. Now, the fifth one is separation of planning. That I already explained you. That now management is a separate thing. So, and workers are the different fellow. So they have to plan, and as per the planning, they will work. Next one is incentive wage payment to workers. Means if they work more, then give more incentives and give them motivation. And next one is mental revolution on the part of employees and worker. If you are able to clear this one to your workers that you are a part of the company or the unit, and if you work more, then organization can fetch more profit and you are also benefited. So these are the main things. So if you apply this theory, then obviously you can enjoy benefits. So, which are the main merits of this one? First one is introduce the use of rational and systematic methods to solve managerial problems. Second thing is brought attention to management as a field of scientific study. Management is a scientific study. As science have their principles, management has also their principles. Next one is it emphasizes the use of cost cutting and efficiency techniques. So when there is a mass production, that time it must be very reasonable price making. So you have to cut down your cost and you have to increase the efficiency. Then only you can get maximum profit. Another one is added in the development of managerial skill of job design. Then place stress on scientific selection, training and development of worker. What is this that I explain you in detail, and pointed the way to the professionalism of management. Means management is a profession. It is not just only a art or science. It is a profession. So you can develop your skill. You can get related degrees for that also. But no one can say that it is free from limitation. Some demerits are also there. Among them, first one is scientific methods have less appreciation in dynamic and complex organization. Means if the organization is very complex, then for scientific method is not acceptable or appreciable by all these employees. But with the passage of time, at least you can minimize this limit. And nowadays, we can say that even the dynamic and complex organization, they also adopt scientific method. No doubt, day by day and year by year, they improve the method. But scientific method and its application increased like anything. Second one is much emphasis on man's desire for money. As I explained you earlier, that so far as hierarchy of needs are concerned, desire for money is the on top layer. But if the person is fully satisfied with money, then other desires also emerges, and that time money may not play a great role. Many fellows they work for goodwill. They have some emotions to do the work or to contribute to the society. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is one of the best example. He works for nation. For him, money is immaterial. In his life, he never emphasized on monetary gain. Third one is overlooks the human desire for job satisfaction. As I explained you that if you emphasize on money, that time what is about your satisfaction, it overlooks. So up to some extent, if you give importance to your subordinate, then you can repair this mistake. And does not recognize the uniqueness of different work environment. But up to some extent, right now, if the work environment is different, then with your skill and experience, you can adjust and you can find out better solution for that one. So no doubt, these are the limitations. But if your experience is good, you have enough skill how to fetch the work from the others, then at least you can come out from these limitations also. I explained you scientific management school in detail. I hope you followed this one. So, my humble request to you, please subscribe the Bureau, give your comments, and don't forget to give thumbs up. Thank you very much. So nice of you.